Hello, my name is Andrew Baxter. This is week 2.1, 2.2 graded assignment. We are asked to look into transportation costs for our school district building off of week 1. I had found in my interview with the transportation director and the information I gathered from my athletic director, who had sent me some documents, that the cost per trip is based solely on uh, contract breakdown. Our school district has been closely monitored by the state since 2010, as we were an unaccredited school up until this past school year. So any contracts other than teachers' contracts are very dry and set in stone. Basically, it broke down if it was a short trip, the cost would be $35 per trip per hour, and that includes payment of the driver as well as the cost for gas and everything else entailing transportation. Events typically max out at $70. That's the contract per event. We do not schedule many games that are far away. The $70 technically covers a 2 hour period in which you travel to and from, as we have a shortage of bus drivers. That kind of takes into account that a lot of teams are being dropped off of in a shuttle sort of way instead of the driver staying on site. So it's 70 per sporting event, and that includes everything, as most of our traveling is based in North St. Louis County. I chose to do baseball and girls soccer because I am the head baseball coach, and there is, and varsity soccer is another spring sport in which they play away games. Varsity baseball plays 20 total games and 10 away games. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Their total cost for traveling was $700. JV only plays about 12 games, and their 6 away games, so their total cost would be $420 total per year. Varsity girls soccer played 12 games this past year. They had one rained out in which they didn't make up. Played 6 away games. JV girls soccer played 6 away games as well on opposite dates, as the coaching staff coaches both JV and varsity for soccer as well as for varsity baseball. I found that varsity baseball costs more per year for transportation than girls soccer does due to the higher amount of games, and that includes mostly tournaments and whatnot. Girls soccer, I found it was interesting that um, they had one rained out that was not rescheduled and regrouped that way. The total cost for including these two sports for transportation was $1,960, and I'm told that that's pretty standard. This system is not as complex as most systems. I think it helps that we own our own buses, um, and that we have this sort up in a contract fashion with transportation instead of the cost per hour calculator, where it's a different amount each time. Each driver who partakes in this, especially on the weekend tournament games, knows exactly what they're making. The only time I would see a $35 coverage would be non-sporting related, which would be like a short field trip within district or within the community. I learned a lot as far as how transportation breaks down, um, and how much it costs. Really, per sport, it costs a lot more than I had initially realized. So that concludes my presentation of 2.1, 2.2 in my findings with transportation and the cost per sport.